Grandson of Right Thought. So we come to the end of this thing, y'all. We're at the ending. One of these peculiar things about Israel is that they reject their own. And this is something that is undeniable. It's something that always has been and it will be until the end. Until the truth prevails. And Yahusha sits on the throne and reigns in righteous judgment. The scriptures say that he came into his own and his own knew him not. So then what does that mean? Yahusha said he came to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He came to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And they knew him not. So his own people didn't know him. When Yahusha came to his own town, the people were offended at him. And he said a prophet is without honor in his own nation, his own kin, his own people. You see? He was offended. They were offended in his hometown where he was from. And said he came to his own knew him not. They also said that he was a devil. They said Yahusha was a devil. They said that he was doing his works by the power of the devil. And he had to tell them, he says, a house divided can't stand, y'all. Y'all not thinking? If the devil cast out the devil, then his kingdom won't stand. So when you see someone like the grandson of Right Thought casting down wickedness of the devil, then if he's a servant of the devil, then how can his kingdom stand? If he's fighting against his own kingdom, casting it down, building up Yahusha, truth and love, claiming the name of Yahusha in these last days. The one who Satan's arch enemy hates. A house divided can't stand, guys. So when you find yourself following after Yahusha, it's like the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, is being called a devil. That's when you know you're at the fullness of Yahusha, because he was called the same. That's when you know you're walking with him. You're carrying your cross with him because you're called the same. Nobody can deny it. Whether they like it or not is one thing or another. That's something else. But can they deny it? Can they deny that this happened to Yahusha? He was called a devil. He was rejected by his own. They took a murderer instead of him. They put him on trial illegally. They made an illegal trial against Yahusha, correct? The high priest that condemned him, condemned Yahusha to death by blasphemy, condemned his own self by ripping his own priestly garments. You see? When you know the truth, then you know what's really going on. Yahusha stood there, kept his mouth shut, and let the people believe whatever they wanted to believe. You see? And they condemned him and crucified him. And before this happened, he said, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets, you stone the prophets. So this is another truth about Israel. Judah, Jerusalem, they will stone their own prophets. They will kill them, enemy. The enemy ain't got to worry about it because they'll do it themselves. Yahusha said that. He said, y'all stone the ones the messengers I send to you. You kill them. So then this is a truth of the world. That Israel will kill their own messengers. They will kill their own prophets. Yahusha said it himself. He said, you do it. He said, I stretched my hands out to you. I would have gathered your children under me like a hen does her chicks. But you won't let me do it. So your house is left to you desolate. And I'm going to tell Israel the same thing. Your house is left to your ass desolate now. Same thing Yahusha said. Because you reject his messengers. You reject the truth. You never accept it. You rather accept lies instead. Y'all like drama. It's like one of my bros said. Y'all like shit like the Maury show. Y'all like that kind of shit instead of the truth prevailing. So I was going to leave your house to you desolate. Just like Yahusha said. You can't change Yahusha's words. And y'all who say you love them, y'all should know this is true what I'm saying. If you're following Yahusha, then he says the servant is not greater than the master. And if they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, then what would they call you? So if you ain't being called Satan and you ain't being called the devil, then maybe you're not really following Christ like you think you are. Because you're going to be hated by this world if you follow Christ. You're not going to be loved by this world. if you're loved by this world, he says, woe unto you when all men speak well of you. So if everybody's speaking well of you, then that's destruction on you. You should have some people out there speaking negatively about you, trying to tear you down. If you don't, then it's destruction on you, he says. See, that's why a lot of people are afraid of the truth. They're afraid to come into the truth because they're afraid to take the stripes. You see, that's why they fled from Yahusha when they came to take Yahusha. They fled. A lot of the people that follow him, and then, look, he said something one day and people were offended by it. And a lot of people left. And he looked to his 12 and he said, will you leave me too? And Peter said, to where should we go? You have the words of eternal life. Now, I bet there were people standing there who would have said, Peter, you're a brainwashed slave. You follow this man wherever he goes. Anything he says, do you just do it. You were at work having a job, taking care of your family, and this man told you to leave and you just left. What kind of man are you? What kind of responsible man are you? All of that shit don't mean nothing to the elect, man, because we follow the Lamb wherever he goes. Y'all don't know that shit, though. Y'all don't know it. Y'all don't know you're going to suffer for Christ's sakes. You think you're just going to come into Christ and you're just going to have a good-ass time and everything's going to go good for you. No. He says, prepare your heart for tribulation if you come to serve the Lord. Prepare your heart for it, because it's coming. It ain't nothing you can do to get around that shit. He says Jerusalem stones the prophets. They kill those. He says you're going to persecute them, my prophets. You're going to chase them from place to place, from city to city, hating them. So then how the hell am I supposed to, if I'm going to be of that team, sit there and not to expect to have stones thrown at me when he said it will be so? You see? He said it will be so. These stones weren't thrown at me until I celebrated my victory of having of unity of spirit, of divine energies coming together with something y'all can't seem to understand. Y'all think this is some carnal thing between 3D of me celebrating a marriage. I said the marriage was done in heaven. There was no rings. There was no celebration. Y'all can't get out of y'all 3D minds to see that. That this is all being done for the glory of the Most High Yah. This is to keep the divine male and female apart from each other, because they came together and saw each other. So there was an enemy that threw a kink in the plan. If y'all can't see that shit, it's so obvious. But y'all don't want to have the truth. You rather believe a lie. Yeah, hell yeah, that nigga's wicked. Are you kidding me? Have you watched my videos? Are y'all stupid as fuck or what? Are y'all black fucking blind? Are you that blind? Do you think Abba Yah would allow his spirit to rest in me and all these videos that you see? And I'd be doing all this wicked shit, but he's allowing his spirit to speak through me like this. Are you insane? It's one thing to know the word, yes, but it's one thing to speak it with the Ruach. The Ruach don't lie. It bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High Yah. There are going to be many liars that are going to come against you if you were in the truth. You got to expect that shit. They're going to say everything. They said Yahushua was a wine bibber. That means a drunk. He drank. They said he was a glutton. See? They said all kinds of shit about it. They said he was a devil. They said he was the prince of devils. So he said, they called me all this shit, man. What they going to call you? Well, they'll probably call me a devil, which they did. They probably called me all kinds of wicked shit. They'll probably do whatever. I don't give a fuck. We're at the end now. See, while you're pointing a finger at me, accusing me, what about you when the Abba set his foot down here to judge? Are you going to be fine accusing? Or are you going to be fine doing the will of the Most High Yah, which is judging righteous judgment today? Getting your own heart correct before the Most High Yah. Because if you're worried about the grandson or anybody else that's talking this truth, then you better be worried about with the truth that they're speaking and not the person that you're looking at. Because if you're worried about the person you're looking at, then you've missed it. Then you've missed the word that was in the beginning. You can't get past the man and get to the word. What kind of people do you think Abba Yah would use? What kind of people has he used? His elect, not your elect, not who you pick, not who do you think is fitting. Not who you think should have it. Not who you think should be in the position that you think they should be in. It's who Abba Yah says. You see? But y'all don't want what Abba Yah want. Y'all don't savor the things that are of God. The scriptures already bear witness to this. So your house is left to you desolate. You see? They're also about the time of trouble for Jacob. Yeah, Jacob going to go through trouble when his house is left desolate to him, isn't he? The restrainer is removed. And the Holy Spirit is taken from the earth. You see? This is no different than the story of Yahusha. I'm about to go back home. I don't know about you guys. I'm about to go back home. So like I said, Israel's house is left to them desolate. Because when you search for the light, which is the truth of the word, you won't find it. Because it'll be gone. And it's your fault because you rejected it. Silawam Yisraelah.